Welcome. My name is Natalie, and I'll be talking with you about a national approach to the management of multi-jurisdictional linked data projects in Australia. A national approach to the management of multi-jurisdictional linked data projects in a country like Australia is essential. This is because Australia is a federation comprising of a federal government, 6 state and 2 territory governments. Federal, state and territory governments have different responsibilities for health and subsequently hold different health data. For example, the federal government subsidises general practice, pharmaceuticals, hospitals and health insurance. State territory governments fund and provide public hospitals, community and public health services, while the private and non-government sectors fund and provide private hospital, primary care and private health insurance services. Because there are a number of sectors playing in the health landscape in Australia, there is no single national data collection, and there is no person identifier that can be used across all data collections. The population pre-COVID in Australia was also very mobile, and there was significant cross-border flow. Large numbers are also needed for some research projects. So the PHRN National Network was created, and as it stands now, we have a National Coordinating Office. We have a National Data Linkage Unit in Canberra, the HW, state and territory data linkage units in every state and territory, a remote access laboratory called SURE, and a secure file exchange service called Suffix. The primary objective of this project was to improve coordination of the application and approval processes for researchers requesting linked data from multiple jurisdictions in Australia. There was 3 components of the approach that we took for this project. The first one was to identify and agree on the minimum set of data items to be included in a universal application form. The second one was to build an online application system which could be used for single, multi and cross-jurisdictional research projects. And the third is to harmonise existing single jurisdiction approval and business processes for multi and cross-jurisdictional research projects. And I've just put up a quote by a researcher on this slide, which represents researchers' experiences of conducting multi-jurisdictional linkage projects prior to our project. So the first thing we did was identify and agree on the minimum set of data items to be included. So step 1 was reviewing all the data applications from all of the data linkage units across Australia. Step 2, we made a list of all the data items and classified them by categories. Third, a draft universal application form was created and reviewed by representatives in the project control group, which was made up of client services staff from each data linkage unit, and the data items common to all data linkage unit application forms were deemed essential. An example of essential items included personnel, project details, data services required, details of data collections, cohort definitions, and funding sources. All other data items were discussed by the PCG and a decision made about whether they would be included or excluded from the form. The fourth step was that once all the data items were agreed, each representative was then responsible to go to their data custodians and other personnel to seek the necessary jurisdictional approvals to use the new universal data application form. And the last step was we had to decide on what format the form should be, and it was agreed that we would go for an online form. Because we were going for an online form, we needed to build an online application system which could be used for submitting requests for access to data for single, multi and cross-jurisdictional linked data projects. There were a couple of components or phases of the development of the system. The first one was the business concept. We engaged a software company to assist us to design a business concept or define a business concept and then develop and implement the system. This was the most time-intensive component of this phase. As you can see, the inception phase, which is the build, was actually completed within 11 weeks. Following the build, we had user acceptance testing for 2 weeks, which was conducted by client services officers and also some researchers. And then the final phase, once the PHRN had agreed that the system was fit for purpose, it was deployed and made available to researchers. The next step in our approach was to harmonise the approval and business processes for multi and cross-jurisdictional research projects. So the first step was to map all the single jurisdictional business processes in order to understand the jurisdictional variability, like what's common, what's different in their application and approvals processes. The second step was we facilitated a face-to-face workshop, and we mapped out an application and approvals business process for researchers who were going to use the online application system. This was a major achievement, and that then positioned us to go forth into a pilot of the business processes, and that went for 6 months. And upon completion of the trial, there was also an evaluation done. The results of the evaluation suggested that we should continue using the business processes, and we now review those business processes annually. So the results will show that the number of submissions to the online application system has increased since it was launched. So by new submissions, we mean requests for quotes, EOIs and applications. So they've risen, you can see here, from 17 to 48. In the next graph, you can see that the number of submissions that are for multi and cross-jurisdictional projects are increasing. They are depicted by the orange part of the bars, and the blue sections of the bars are the single jurisdiction projects. The reason why these are increasing is because at the beginning, South Australia and Northern Territory was using the online application system, and now Tasmania has also joined to use the online application system for their single jurisdictional projects. We can also see on this slide that the number of new and registered users has increased since the launch of the system, and you will also note that the largest user group of the system is from the university sector. Researchers have been satisfied with the services provided by the online application system in the last financial year. As you can see here, we didn't have any dissatisfied or very satisfied clients. We're happy to say that the majority were satisfied or very satisfied, or just felt neutral about the questions that they were asked. So in conclusion, the collaborative process between the jurisdictional linkage units and the program office has been fundamental to Australia being uniquely placed, being the first and only federated nation to achieve multi-jurisdictional data linkage to date. The successful development and implementation of the online application system and supporting business processes has been integral to this too. So has researchers' trust, support and uptake of the PHRN system. Having the researchers supporting the system has kept the PHRN client services focused on improving researchers' timely access to linked data, developing researcher training, and reducing bottlenecks in the application and approvals process. Thank you.